Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US says Israel-Hamas hostage deal closer than ever. Red Cross president meets Hamas leader in Qatar to advance humanitarian issues.
We believe we're closer than we've ever been, so we're hopeful. But there's still work to be done, and nothing is done until it's all done.
India's External Affairs Minister and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong to hold the 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue in New Delhi. India squad for the T20 series against Australia announced. Suryakumar Yadav to captain. Sanju Samson misses out in the 5-match series. US President Joe Biden has indicated a deal could soon be agreed that would involve Hamas releasing hostages from Gaza in exchange for pauses in Israel's offensive. The comment came during an annual Thanksgiving ceremony in which the president pardons a turkey. Earlier, the Israeli ambassador to the US on Sunday had said that he is hopeful one will be reached in the coming days. White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby in a media briefing told journalists that the United States believes the deal to release hostages held by Hamas is getting closer.
I know this is of great interest to all of you. I just want to let you know we're still working this hour by hour. I do not have an update for you on the hostage deal that we're trying to negotiate. But as you heard the Deputy National Security Advisor say yesterday, we believe we're closer than we've ever been. So we're hopeful. But there's still work to be done, and nothing is done until it's all done. So we're going to keep working on this.
While the U.S. State Department said that at least 6 U.S. citizens have been killed since the October 7th rampage into Israel by Hamas.
There are a total of 6 American citizens who have died, not from the terrorist attacks on October 7th, but in the month plus since. 5 who are members of the IDF, and 1 who is a national police border officer.
Army spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said on Monday that Israeli forces discovered a factory that produced weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles under a mosque in Gaza City. Hagari further added that soldiers also found a tunnel shaft after searching the mosque in the Zaitun neighborhood.
The soldiers from the 188th Brigade located inside a mosque, a factory that produced weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles. I want you to understand, a mosque in the area of Zaitun has been used as a factory for the production of weapons. Soldiers entered the mosque and conducted a search. Working in cooperation with soldiers from the Yahalom unit, and after the forces checked that there were no traps, they discovered a tunnel shaft. In addition to this tunnel shaft, the soldiers went further below and discovered a workshop for making rockets.
The International Red Cross president has traveled to Qatar on Monday to meet with Hamas leader to advance humanitarian issues. The Red Cross president also met separately with Qatari authorities, which are acting as mediators in the conflict. The ICRC, a neutral intermediary which is providing aid to Gaza and has helped escort hostages and patients from the enclave, said that the meeting was part of the discussions with all sides to the conflict to improve respect for international humanitarian law. It added that it was not part of negotiations aimed at releasing more than 200 hostages seized by Hamas. Moreover, calls for ceasefire in Gaza have amplified in the United Nations General Assembly on Monday. Member states of the General Assembly also asserted for an increase in aid to the Palestinian enclave.
An immediate humanitarian ceasefire is essential, and we repeat our calls for this, along with an urgent and significant scaling up of humanitarian access and supplies, including food, fuel, water and medical supplies.
That for the sake of the UN and humanity, meeting and commitments are not enough. Resolutions and statements are not enough. It needs to be implemented on the ground. We need concrete action now. We need a humanitarian ceasefire now. We need unimpeded delivery of humanitarian assistance now.
Australia wants to see the next steps towards a ceasefire agreed by both parties. We welcome recent reports of diplomatic efforts towards the safe release of hostages and to facilitate safe humanitarian access, and we encourage all steps towards this.
Well, South Africa will on Tuesday host a virtual summit of the BRICS group of nations to discuss the Israel-Hamas armed conflict. Tuesday's extraordinary joint meeting of the Middle East situation in Gaza will be hosted by the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in the hope of drawing up a common response to the more than 6-week armed conflict. All 5 BRICS heads of states, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, will join the virtual summit. Besides, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will also attend. Leaders from Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran and the United Arab Emirates will also attend the meeting. All these countries are due to join the BRICS group in January next year. A joint statement with particular reference to Gaza is expected following the summit. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz hosted the leaders of the 13 compact with Africa countries at the Berlin's Chancellery as he pushed African countries to proceed with the African Free Trade Area, which he said would contribute towards stronger growth in the continent. The African Continental Free Trade Area will be the largest free trade area since the establishment of the World Trade Organization. The compact with Africa was created in 2017 under the German G20 presidency. It aims to bring together African countries and international organizations to boost investment opportunities. Well, let's take a look at other stories making news across the world. The 10th meeting of the dialogue mechanism between the ruling parties of China and Russia was held on Monday via video link. The meeting was co-organized by the International Department under the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China and the United Russian Party. Presidents of both the countries sent congratulatory letters to the meeting. In the letter, Chinese President Xi Jinping said China-Russia relations have withstood the severe test of changes in the international landscape and maintained a high level of development. Meanwhile, the Russian president said Russia-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership of Coordination is at the highest level in history, and the two countries are working together to advance a number of large-scale cooperation projects. In one of the country's largest mafia trials, an Italian court convicted more than 230 mobsters and their associates for a slew of charges, including extortion, drug trafficking and theft. The trials targeted Negrenta crime group, one of the most powerful gangs in the heartland of the southern region of Calabria. Brazilian fans gathered in large numbers on Monday for Taylor Swift's concert in Rio amid sweltering heat in the city. The artist postponed her concert on Saturday in Rio after the 23-year-old fan died in her Friday night concert. Taylor took the decision due to the extreme temperatures in Rio. A Los Angeles court has ordered rapper A$AP Rocky to stand trial on assault charges that claim he pointed and fired a handgun at Terrell Efron, causing minor injuries in 2021. The decision came on Monday during the second day of a preliminary hearing attended by the rapper. In Iceland, a massive lava diverting wall is being built near the Grindvik to protect the Svartsengi geothermal power plant. The region is under threat due to the heightened seismic activity and underground lava flows. The situation led to the evacuation of nearly 4,000 people from the fishing town of Grindvik. The famous Blue Lagoon geothermal spa remains closed. There are large cracks in the earth running from the town's center, leaving main streets impassable. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden received the official White House Christmas tree on Monday, which is a freesia fir grown in Northern Carolina. She was joined by the children of military families on the occasion. Well, updates now from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Ukrainian military officials said that the forces were engaged in containing increased Russian attacks around the shattered eastern town of Bakhmut on Monday. They added that Ukraine's troops had also achieved some success after crossing to the east bank of Dnipro River in southern Kherson region. Ukrainian forces have also made marginal gains in a 5-month-old offensive in the east and south. Russia has concentrated on Ukraine's eastern regions after failing to move on Kyiv. The progress has been slow. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has announced $100 million in new military aid to Ukraine during a surprise visit to Kyiv on Monday. Austin announced the aid package after a day of meetings with Ukrainian officials. Aid includes arms such as anti-tank weapons and air defense interceptors. He assured Ukraine officials of long-term American support amid growing concerns about the sustainability of vital U.S. assistance. The United States has provided more than $44 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion in February of 2022. Long queues of trucks have been lined up for more than a week at Poland's border with Ukraine on Monday, as Polish truckers are protesting against the government, blaming them for failing to protect their businesses from foreign competition since Russia-Ukraine conflict. The angry Polish lorry drivers said that they want licenses for Ukrainian truckers, which they used to have for a limited extent in the past, and a demand that Kyiv said that they would not consider. Poland and Ukraine have held talks on the matter but have so far failed to reach any agreement. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Two-day Global Fisheries Conference India 2023 begins in Ahmedabad to mark the World Fisheries Day. UN Secretary General heads to Antarctica before the COP28 climate summit. Defending champions Italy secure Euro 2024 final spot after nervy goalless draw with Ukraine.
A platform for the developing world, amplifying the voice of the Global South with a focus on the growing economies, resolving the conflicts, showcasing the culture, tradition, heritage and diversity. Watch Voice of the Global South at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Anil Thomas. Moving forward, U.S. aircraft carrier Carl Vinson has arrived in South Korea in a show of deterrence as North Korea announced plans to launch a spy satellite between November 22nd and December 1st. Earlier, South Korea issued a sail warning calling Pyongyang's planned satellite rocket launch a matter that affects national security. Japan said that its missile defense stood ready to deal with any unexpected situation. It will be North Korea's third attempt to put a spy satellite into orbit this year. The launch comes after the country's leader Kim Jong-un visited Russia, where President Vladimir Putin promised to help Pyongyang build satellites. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, accompanied by the Chilean President Boric, will visit Antarctica this week to witness the impact of climate change on the continent due to rising temperatures. They aim to see the melting ice and native species. Guterres will address the UN Climate Summit COP28 afterward, advocating for action to address the crisis. The expedition comes as world leaders strive to uphold the Paris Agreement's 1.5 degrees Celsius warming target, despite current emissions pledges putting the world on track for nearly 3 degrees Celsius of warming. Boric previously visited Antarctica, responding to criticism about carbon emissions from the trip. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong will hold the 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue in the national capital today. Under this framework, the two sides will take stock of bilateral cooperation under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Indian Fisheries Minister Purushottam Rupala will inaugurate the two-day Global Fisheries Conference in Ahmedabad on Tuesday. Marking the World Fisheries Day, the conference will be celebrating the theme of celebrating fisheries and aquaculture wealth. It aims to bring together key stakeholders in one platform for fruitful discussions, market insights, and networking. It will also serve as a platform to forge partnership with national and international stakeholders and to chalk out a roadmap for sustainable growth of India's fisheries sector. Delegations from more than 10 countries will physically participate in the conference, while more than 50 other foreign diplomats are anticipated to join the meet virtually. The event is anticipated to attract 5,000 visitors, including farmers, vendors, representatives of cooperatives and startups. The 54th International Film Festival of India kick-started on Monday with a gala opening and a red carpet of the opening film in Goa. Stuart Gatt's Catching Dust is the opening film of the festival.
The International Film Festival of India began with a star-studded ceremony at the Shama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium in Goa. In a significant announcement by India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur at IFFI, the incentive for foreign film production has been enhanced from 30 to 40%. The incentive for foreign film production in the country stands today at 40% of the expenses incurred, with an increased cap limit exceeding 3.5 million and an additional 5% bonus for significant Indian content.
Today I am pleased to announce an increase in the incentive for foreign film production in India. The maximum incentive will now be up to 40% of the expenditure incurred, with a raised limit of rupees 30 crore rupees, exceeding 3.5 million US dollars. $3.5 million US dollar तक आपको इसमें लाभ मिल सकता है, and you can also get additional 5% bonus for significant Indian content. So we are pushing both, making films in India and also pushing the Indian content.
The 54th International Film Festival of India honored the Dhak Dhak girl Madhuri Dixit with special recognition for contribution to Bharatiya Cinema Award.
Thank you very much for this beautiful award, for honoring me. Nearly 38 years in the industry. Wow. And I've got to work with such wonderful directors and wonderful films, with lovely co-actors, जैसे family जैसे बन जाती थी हमेशा shooting के दौरान. And I'm very, very fortunate that I got the right opportunities at the right time.
Union Minister Anurag Singh Thakur earlier inaugurated the Film Bazaar, the largest South Asian film market, at Marriott Resort, Goa. He said that the Film Bazaar is much like a bustling marketplace of ideas, is a heaven for filmmakers, producers and storytellers from all corners of the globe.
The Film Bazaar, like a bustling marketplace of ideas, is a heaven for filmmakers, producers and storytellers from all corners of the globe. It's a confluence of creativity and commerce, ideas and inspirations that form the building blocks of this thriving cinematic marketplace.
Union Minister of State Dr. L. Murugan, who was present at the red carpet of the opening film, felicitated the cast and crew of Catching Dust film. While interacting with press, the crew emphasized that having the film at IFFI's opening film is a great honor.
It means a lot to be here. And for us, my producers Mark and John, it's our international premiere. It's an amazing festival to be at. We're very happy to show our film here. Massively. It's a huge, huge honour, huge honour. I grew up in a part of London where everyone's Indian and it feels like you're there already. So like, yeah, but it's being here is like, feels like home, honestly. It really does.
The next 8 days will be an extravaganza of entertainment for the movie buffs. Shama Mishra's report for DD India.
Well, general public continues to throng the India International Trade Fair at Delhi's Pragati Maidan in large numbers. With almost 3,500 exhibitors across the country and abroad, the fair is expected to attract around 40,000 visitors each day and could swell to around 1 lakh visitors per day during weekends and holidays. Well, the theme of this year's trade fair is Vasudev Kutumbakam, united by trade, while the theme of the health pavilion is Ayushman Bhava, which means may you live long. The Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, visited the Ayushman Bhavan Health Pavilion at the India International Trade Fair in New Delhi.
So with this digital health scheme, what the government is doing is they are building a digital health ecosystem for the country. So all the stakeholders in health sector, be it the patients, the doctors or hospitals or even different government health programs, they are joining together, they are connecting on this digital platform to deliver digital services to the patients. So it will make healthcare more accessible to all, more efficient for the country and more valuable for everyone.
ABDM is basically providing a digital platform for all the stakeholders, as earlier said, that where a doctor, a patient, insurance sector also can come, other stakeholders can also come and connect with each other. It is basically the helps in interoperability of the healthcare records.
Well, let's take a look at some other stories making news today. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey is on an official visit to the Republic of Korea. The visit aims at strengthening mutual understanding, exchanging views on aspects of common interest, and strengthening bilateral defense cooperation between India and the Republic of Korea. Political parties are leaving no stone unturned to influence the electorate, with state elections in Rajasthan and Telangana just a few days away. Polling for 199 assembly seats in Rajasthan will be held on the 25th of this month. The second phase for the home voting facility for elderly and Divyangans have been started in Rajasthan. State of Telangana will go to polls on the 30th of November. The results will be declared on the 3rd of December. Well, time now for sports updates, starting first up with Euro. Italy qualified for Euro 2024 after drawing 0-0 against Ukraine in the final Group C match on Group C qualifier on Monday. European champions Italy finished second, level on 14 points with third place Ukraine, but with a better head-to-head record after a tense affair that could have gone either way. The Italians entered 6 points behind England, who have sealed qualification after beating Italy 3-1 at Wembley in October. Ukraine can still book a spot at the 4th consecutive European Championship via the playoffs in March. The playoff draw will take place on Thursday in Nyon. The 6 shirts won by Messi at the 2022 World Cup are expected to fetch a record price in the auction later this month. The collection that is expected to be the most valuable collection of sports archives, including the shirt Messi wore during the first half of the final in Qatar. The white and sky blue shirts will be up for bid in between November 30th and December 14th, which also happens to be the date of the collection's public exhibition. The extraordinary collection is estimated in excess of $10 million. The Indians men's selection committee on Monday announced a squad for the upcoming 5-match T20 series against Australia. The series is scheduled to start on the 23rd in Visakhapatnam. Suryakumar Yadav will lead the squad. Rituraj Gaikwad will be his deputy for the first 3 matches, and Shreyas Iyer will join the team as vice-captain for the last 2 T20s in Raipur and Bengaluru. Sanju Samson once again misses out from getting selected in this squad. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. You can also visit our website, ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Anil Thomas. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.